All right, so right there, I took one of the licks from the yesterday's Etude, which originally is the song's in D minor, so it's A7 altered to actually. Where does it happen in the changes? I forget now where it happens. Oh yeah, it happens on bars 9 and 10. So the song's in D minor, but here it goes A7 altered to D7. So that's why you have this kind of sound. You expect to hear this. Right, A7 altered to some kind of D minor, right? Because you have the F, which anticipates the third of D minor, but instead it's like this, right? So the C is from the minor scale, the dominant, but hang on, I make a video, but you get F sharp. Okay, so let me talk about why I like this lick. Well, I took that lick and I put in all 12 keys. Again, something Brent has exhorted us to do, and trying to turn over a new leaf and do that more often to get it in my playing under my fingers. Let me talk about why I like this lick, why I think it's such a great one, why I picked it, because I didn't do this with all the licks in there. Okay, the first one is...
I'm done. Can I watch with them?
First one is, it's a very bebop-y sound, because it draws on the halftone, whole tone scale, the diminished scale. So if you ever listen to like a Charlie Parker tune, like Ornithology or Donna Lee, I think it is, uses a lick almost exactly like this, where as you're resolving, you hit the so walking into the third there. That kind of sound. Right there. That's a very bebop-y kind of sound, diminished. So it's just useful jazz bebop language to learn. Second thing, I love this, how there's a half-step connection, like voice leading between the beginning of the lick and the end of the lick, or roughly the end. If you notice here, it starts on, if you're in the original key the lick's in, it starts on F, and then it resolves to E. So check it out. That's kind of encapsulates the lick, that just a half step down. That's just nice coherence to the lick. It moves around, but comes back. Okay, so then the sound you'd get if you played it with chords is, so that's the sharp 5 of your A7 to and E is the 9 of the chord you're resolving to, D. Okay, and that brings me to another thing I like about this lick, is that it really resolves to the third and the 9. So it's emphasizing the 3 and the 9. Of course, you know, Brent always preaches resolving to chord tones, 1, 3, 5, 7 especially, but 9 is a really, if you listen to much jazz, you'll pick up pretty quickly that the 9 is a very distinctively sounding place to land in jazz harmony, not in other types of music, but in jazz, it's very standard to wind up there. Okay. I also love how there's a large interval. I mentioned this in a past video, but it's sometimes difficult to incorporate large intervals artfully into improvising. So this one has a big interval jump there. I don't know, what is that interval? It's actually a flat 7, which How often do you use that interval in your improvising? It sounds so energetic, especially when you're jumping up a large interval like that. She has a really great energy, and so that helps it. I think the way I hear this lick, it's very dissonant over the A7. Those half steps, the diminished sound makes it really sound dissonant, but then that really consonant jump from the third to the 9, it kind of comes from that sound. It just sounds beautiful, energetic. The other thing I like about this last thing, is it's short, and you could even cut out the business. It's just kind of emphasizing the 5, the 9. Get a tiny bit of dissonance with the sharp 11. You could just cut it down to, and you could play around with that, and that would be a super useful tool that you could use whether you're going altered chord to a minor chord. You could just change it a little bit, or alter to major 7, or as this one is, alter to dominant 7. So anyway, just I don't remember where I heard this. Someone was talking about he finds it more useful to incorporate little pieces into his playing than big pieces because they're just more useful. A little piece of language you can manipulate more easily, you can remember more easily, you can fit into more context rather than like this huge lick. Kind of like if you memorize an entire poem or piece of scripture or something, it might be more difficult to work into a conversation than one little phrase that you could kind of make your own and turn inside and out, whatever. So anyway, hope this is helpful. I'm having fun doing this. Sorry if my explanation was too long. Have a good day.